An enforced disappearance happens when a person is taken against his or her will without a proper warrant for an arrest, and his or her whereabouts remain unknown. Moreover, the perpetrators of this crime are members of the states, police corporations, or the armed forces. Sometimes members of the state are directly involved and/or are accomplices. Enforced disappearances are crimes against humanity. According to human rights treatises, there is no statute of limitations. Enforced disappearance is often utilized by repressive regimes as a means to instill fear in societies, and thus diffuse opposition to the government and collective action. It is also a way to weaken the social fabric and tame its reactions against unjust government policies. The effect a disappearance has in the families of the victims is devastating. Fear, uncertainty, and pain afflict family and work relations. Mental and physical health deteriorate. On top of all these hardships, state-fostered stigma on disappearances discourages society to ask for measures to stop these atrocities that damage the social fabric. Mexico is currently living a human rights catastrophe. Ever since former President Felipe Calderón declared war on organized crime in 2006, violence increased exponentially in Mexico. The Merida Initiative, in line with the drug prohibition enforced by the United States of America, supported a strategy based on militarization. Despite how little was achieved after these actions and the enormous human toll, President Enrique Peña Nieto continues with the same strategy to appease violence. Approximately 30,000 people have been disappeared, according to official records, 2,500 in the state of Nuevo León alone. Fuerzas Unidas por Nuestros Desaparecidos en Nuevo León, which translates as Forces United in Search for Our Disappeared in Nuevo León, FUNDEN, was formed in August of 2012 to respond to the needs of a group of victims ignored by the government. The organization raises awareness of the catastrophe of forced disappearances, especially of the indifference and incompetence of the state. Their objective is to press for the search of their loved ones. In 4 years, FUNDEN has achieved great feats. Today, the organization is a strong referent within the countrywide movement of families of the disappeared that seek to find their loved ones. Through social protest, FUNDEN has aimed to make the issue of disappearances visible. It has privileged reflection and creativity. It has made public spaces a scene of protest and presence before the state apparatus. In doing so, they foster empathy and a greater social conscience through performances or artistic happenings that deeply impact the onlookers. There, the disappeared are remembered. They also become a call for solidarity with the family's struggle. Artists and young activists have joined the families and contribute to make their voice heard to larger audiences. FUNDEN also participates actively in the annual Mother's Day March in Mexico City, where many of the collectives meet to confront the national government. The organization also joins forces with other collectives who defend human rights in Nuevo León, Mexico, and abroad. One of the fundamental actions that contribute to make the stories of the disappeared more visible was appropriating a space within the Macroplaza, Monterrey's largest public esplanade. Formerly a space to honor the local bullfighting tradition, the square was renamed the Transparency of Anid, due to a glass sculpture where the names of the disappeared have been placed. The hope is that one day these men and women who are missing come and take their names off themselves. Therefore, the glass will become clear again, transparent. Today, the square is popularly known as the Plaza of the Disappeared, Plaza de los Desaparecidos, and is a locus of memory, social protest, and the search for the disappeared. FUNDEN is also a notable participant of the Embroidering for Peace initiative. This is a network of activists that embroiders the stories of the victims of war onto white handkerchiefs, sewing the names of the disappeared in green thread, symbolizing hope. This network of solidarity and resistance through memory is integrated by people from Mexico and abroad. Another exercise of the right to bear memory is a compilation of the stories of the disappeared in the book La presencia de la ausencia, the presence of absence. The texts around the disappeared ask the following questions. Who are the disappeared? What is it like to search for them? How do their loved ones await for their return? All of these, with the reflections of academia and artists, compose a book, which has already been promoted in different parts of Mexico. Due to the aforementioned lack of expertise from state authorities, FUNDEN has taken matters into its own hands, taking up investigative duties that are the competence of the District Attorney's Office, even performing the actual investigation in the field. The independent field searches are performed according to information about illicit activities happening on those places, with the objective of encountering evidence that can further the investigations and also fulfill the strange hope of finding human remains. This hands-on approach also produced an independent DNA bank, in which FUNDEN collaborates with the support of other organizations. The lack of proper protocols of identification and handling of human remains of the District Attorney's Office strongly motivates this enterprise. There is recorded evidence of manipulation of DNA tests in the Department of Crime Scene Investigation. FUNDEN consults forensic experts and independent laboratories in order to provide certainties to reasonable doubts and concerns about how human remains are handled. Despite a system of impunity, FUNDEN has held its ground bravely, with effort, work, few economic resources stemming mostly from the families themselves, fundraisers, and a few donations. This organization is a necessary voice with regards to the struggle to end enforced disappearances, and it plays its part in the search for justice for all the victims. It also seeks to add to the construction of a culture of respect for human rights. Above all, these milestones have been achieved because of the love for sons, daughters, husbands, wives, sisters, brothers, friends. Love of the possibility of a future with justice and peace, where this tragedy we suffer is only a distant memory.